My sister was 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
But we were in the same class.
Okay.
So my father will say that one day you're going to be studying with her kids. In school, I said, people like us don't study other people's written books. We write our own books. And my dad is like, okay, here's a slipper and coming to you.
Well, today I'm going to be meeting someone who's not just the Michelin star chef, but also our favorite MasterChef India judge. A cookbook writer, a filmmaker, a humanitarian, the list goes on. So let's go and meet our favorite chef, Vikas Khanna. Welcome to Dubai. How is it being back in the Emirate again?
I think Dubai is something which is the stage for where East meets West. There's no other city on the planet which is a better example than this. We talk about the food world, we're looking at ingredients, what you get here, the chefs, the variety, the aspirations, and at the same time, the arts, the cinema, the architecture. We're looking at Dubai as one of the biggest global cities between East and West,
Yeah.
Of course, in the Western world, you have New York, but this is like the city which evolved in front of us.
Yes, for sure. Like someone who's been like born and brought up here, I've seen that evolution. So it's like crazy.
Every single day.
Yeah, it's amazing. Could you just tell for our UAE audience, how did you start with this journey? How did you become a chef? How did the magic happen?
My grandmom was a great chef, cook actually, he's called it. And she's the one who told me to follow my dreams. And I was very passionate about serving people. And I felt that, she was the one who would take me to Golden Temple for the community kitchens and making us understand that when things would come from the farm, we have to take the first bag to the temple and for the community kitchens. I think those simple rituals were something which I felt that, this is not just about the food. Cooking is much bigger than that. And I've always had a blessing. And I fought with the entire system. Talking about 1990s, when your son decides to go to culinary school, everybody disowns you. You're totally disinherited because they never thought that cooking would be a profession which can be glorified or, be at a position when there's no security for him, for financially or emotionally, right? And who's going to get married to him? And everything I heard. And then boom, looking back 35 years and you say that, I've been in the kitchen for 35 years and understanding that how the whole thing has changed.
So how was it working in the community kitchen of the Golden Temple?
As a child, the only thing you were proud of if you could make a round roti. You're just there and rolling in bread and, you see so many kids now. But, the temple has changed now. There's no modernized ways of doing stuff. But our times, it was a relatively smaller kitchen. But the beauty of this was, just sitting there and everyone is chanting and almost like it made you understand something which is much more powerful than food was the community. And for me, that has been the center of my career. Center of the career. And living in New York for 22 years, I feel that is what I need to always be a part of, just the recipe. It has to be a much bigger picture of the culture. And that comes from, the first few years of your life, how you were trained to look at the world.
Yeah. While Dubai isn't much far from India, and well, in Dubai we have a huge population of Indians by itself. Is that one of the reasons why you chose to open your restaurants here in Dubai?
I think Dubai gives you great access to ingredients and it has great access to the world. And I think it's of course it's closer to India and home, and it's good that I can just hop on a plane and get to Dubai and then go and see mom. But I do feel that it's something which is very central to me. And I've had a restaurant here since almost 10 years. We opened Junoon in Dubai. And now Kinara, you feel that, there's a totally evolving market which happens in Dubai, which I don't see that in New York. That shifts I see which happening in Dubai, I don't see that in New York so much. New York has a different advantage of being there, but I feel that this is amazing that it's close to home. Of course, that's one of the reasons.
Okay. So you've been in New York for probably a lot of your time. So what is that one perception that people have towards Indian food that you would like to bust? No, that's not that's a myth or something like that?
I think I used to be exhausted earlier. Then when people would tell me that it's very unhealthy, I said, I eat Indian food almost every single day. And also that all Indian food is very spicy and it's just the curry. And, there is a lot of stigma and stereotyping of stuff. But I do feel that you stereotype something which matters. Why don't you stereotype cuisine from a lesser known country? Because India is so well known that it's so easy to stereotype the whole thing. And many people said, oh, we went to London and that was the best Indian food. I said, yeah, now you need to take a flight and go to India and eat the best Indian food. But I do feel that, the Indian food in Dubai is pretty much amazing.
You are the master chef. You are the Michelin star chef. So there's no one better to play a fun food-based game with.
Okay.
It's a very quick, easy this or that.
Okay.
I'm going to have like 2 food options. You just pick which one, this or that. Okay? Okay, let's go. Chole chawal or rajma chawal?
Rajma chawal.
Dessert or savory?
Savory.
New York or India? Tough one.
Pass.
Okay. Chai or coffee?
Coffee.
Desi khana or international cuisine?
Desi khana always.
Well, that was a fun game and we definitely got to know your picks. Let's talk about your latest launch, which is obviously, when I come to think of food, it's about your book launch, Sacred Food of India. How did you come about the process? Like, what was the idea? Like, how did you come up with Sacred Foods of India?
In 2008, I made a documentary series called Holy Kitchens, in which I talked about faith and food. And I still remember very clearly that there was a mass shooting at Wisconsin Gurdwara in the US at the Sikh temple. And a lot of people told me that, this is your community, you need to go out and talk about it. And we started doing this, showing this documentary. And we got access to some of the biggest Ivy League colleges where they had standing applause for this documentary. I got into film festivals. And I did not know a small documentary of 28 minutes could move people so much. And in 2014, I was in Orissa, in Puri, and I saw the most amazing Rath Yatra and the food. I said, oh my God, we need to do something where we highlight all these places. And I've been a huge admirer of Ajmer Sharif Dargah. And I feel that, this is amazing for me, that we should be able to highlight these recipes, honor the people who make them, and package them in a way that the world pays attention.
The book basically, from what I understand, is about prasads and foods that are served in these holy places across the country. While the book obviously is so unique and interesting.
Yes.
Let's talk about its Phygital launch. I want to know, what made you launch it as an NFT? What was the process like?
I will be honest, a few years ago, I did not know much what's going on. But everybody said that, you have always been the groundbreaking chef of anything you do is always 10 steps ahead. And then, I thought this was great because you're reaching out to whole new markets. You're also reaching out to the kids whom we are trying to communicate about India. This is more accessible to them. This is what they are up the alley for. So I said, let's do something which connects us to them. We have to speak the common words and vocabulary and language. So this is why this developed into an idea of, let's get it to this kind of a platform where you have bigger access to world, you have bigger audience, but you're also reaching out to the newer generations to talk about India in such a sacred and basic form, what people say.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's anything like this even happened before. So even when I came across this, I was like, this is amazing. This is something right up, with the time as we're going with getting into this virtual space.
The worlds are changing.
Yeah, the world is
post-pandemic, I feel that, of course, this is my twin. This was written many, many years ago, but the packaging and the reaching out to the world became very predominantly based on how do we reach out to new generations. This is my 38th book. And I'm still so anxious, and thank God to this crazy, unsettling mind of mine, which I want to keep going.
I also know that you made a promise to your father about writing 50 books, and which when I read that, I was just I was like, oh my God, this is so emotional and sweet. I can see the whole family connect that you have with your own family. So are you planning to launch?
It was because of my sister. So I was so bad in studies that I was only interested in cooking.
Okay.
So I failed. My sister was 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
But we were in the same class.
Okay.
So my father will say that one day you're going to be studying with her kids. Like, you are never going to cross this, never going to pass in school. I said, people like us don't study other people's written books. We write our own books. And me and my sister laughed and laughed. And my dad is like, okay, here's a slipper and coming to you. So I said, don't worry, I'm going to write 50 books. And my sister is like, oh, sure. And when we were in America in 2004, my sister told me, you've promised to dad, you're going to write 50 books. I said, I was just upset. Who's going to buy my books? Do you think, oh, you have no idea how much voice you have.
Yeah.
And since 2004, I've been working hard that I can keep my promise to him. But he used to, when he used to be alive, he used to tell me that the book, how many, he never used to say 38, he'll say 12 left. He'll always tell me. So if he was listening to me right now, he'll say that 12 ho raha karni hai to I'll do it if best.
We all believe that you can. And
I've written 43. And I publish very slowly because I feel I need to give full honor to the books I bring out. And it's also being an independent chef. You also think that there's so much of finances and economy which is on your shoulders. So you need to balance those things out to that. This is celebrating India at 75. Yeah. There's a huge buzz around India right now to bring out a project. But I don't want to do anything half-heartedly just for the reason of doing it.
Are there any other books like after this one that you're planning to launch as NFTs?
I don't know yet. But I'm the content creator. Okay. For me, it's more important that I do the content. And what forms it takes to evolve, it's the universe.
Well, that was quite impressive. Everything that we learned about you and the book, we got a whole lot of insight. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure.
Alright, you guys, and with that, we come towards the end of this video. For more such videos,
please follow Curlytales Middle East.